Hey, Long Beach. Good morning. So I just had this. I don't know if it's. I can't say it's strange. I've had something that just happened to me that I've never experienced in life, and that I definitely never want to experience again. I am in Willow Springs Park here in Long Beach. I love this little park. Discovered some things today that I had not discovered before. Had planned on going live this morning, and so I had my tripod with me, and I set my little mini tripod up. I was trying to find the perfect spot to go live, and I decided that I was going to just sit in the wood chips. Bad idea, people. Note to self: never sit in a pile of wood chips. I sat down in a pile of wood chips, and OMG, I looked down. I have on black pants. My pants were covered with bugs. I had tiny bugs walking all up my backside. They were on my shoes. They were on the tripod. They were on the phone. They were, I had a little coffee decanter with me. They were on that. So anyway, note to self: never sit in a pile of wood chips. But anyway, I wanted to go live just for a moment. Today is, what is today? Today is December 20th, 2022 here in Long Beach. Today is the official changing of the guard, the official changing of our political leadership here in Long Beach. Officially today, we have a new mayor, Rex Richardson. So for people, last week I went live, All Politics Are Local, did like a recap on the last election. The discussion lasted for like an hour and a half. That discussion really could have probably lasted hours, because there were so many things to say, so many points of view, so much reflections. But there were things that I didn't get an opportunity to say or share that I wanted to share, because I was talking to someone about this recent election and the outcomes and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, Jerlene, just get over it." A couple things. It was Jerlene, get over it. And oh, are you sad because your candidate lost? Well, first, let's talk about winning and losing. I think in our society that we don't we have a skewed perception of competition and what winning and losing looks like. And I was an athlete. I was an athlete all throughout high school and a little bit in college. And one thing about it, sometimes you're not going to win, right? Sometimes you're not going to be first place. And that's just the reality. That's just the reality. But what's interesting is how people will, in this political process, when someone does not win, it's not about the lamenting, but it's the jumping to the other side and dismissing the I would say the team that you were on. And my thought is, well, they were never athletes. They were never athletes. They didn't understand that it's okay to sometimes not win. It's okay. So anyway, that's one thing. And the whole get over it. All politics are local. All politics are local. So there will always be a conversation to be had. Always. So it's not about getting over anything. It's about continuing to hold people accountable, continuing to have a conversation, continuing to ask the questions. Now, in regards to this election, specifically here in Long Beach, I shared a lot of my thoughts and opinions. But what was really interesting, people seem to have short memories, and I want to make this video to ask people to not have short memories. Don't have short memories of what has transpired in our city this past year. Our city has gone through this whole this I would say process of division and divisiveness, and now suddenly there's this call for unity. And to me, it's fake. It's fake. And it reminds me of like Do you guys remember in what was it called? The Incredibles. Remember in The Incredibles, in the villain, like he was a little boy and he admired I can't remember the name of the Mr. Incredible. He admired Mr. Incredible, and Mr. Incredible dismissed him, so he became a supervillain. And his idea was to one, cause havoc. He caused havoc. What was his Zero, or I don't remember what it was, but anyway, he had a little suit on, but he became a supervillain, and he plotted and planned for years, and he created all this disruption, right? And then what his idea was, he was going to come in and he was going to save the day. So the supervillain pretended to be when no one was looking, he was creating havoc, and then he was going to come in and save the day. So I kind of see that in this election is where this city has gone through this extreme division and divisiveness. And I mean, the division was so stupid to me that we had people that were criticizing the wealthy. Now, of course, we live in a capitalistic society, but it was interesting how people were like, oh, if you live on the other side of town, this is one candidate or candidates, people's, you're evil and you don't care about the other people. Yet they're the first people, the wealthy, that they've turned to ask for money to get them out of debt. Okay, I'm talking about the winning candidate. The cohort of people that was Richardson, that was supporting Richardson, had created this narrative that if you were wealthy or affluent in the city, that you were an enemy. But now the word on the street is now they're asking these same people for money to help him pull out of debt. Yes, our current mayor-elect is in debt from the campaign. Again, back to short memories. We can't forget that. And what's really interesting, that I know it's under this auspices of unity, there's been multiple celebrations. I'm all about the celebrating, right? We need to celebrate our wins. We need to celebrate. But what are we really celebrating? Are we celebrating the success of one? Or are we celebrating the success of many? And I'm gonna come back to that in just a moment. But there was a reception last night, pre-inaugural VIP reception, and there's gonna be a reception again. Now, if we're talking about unity, what is the reason for having multiple celebrations? It's about unity, right? But if it's about unity, why isn't everybody in the room together? Why aren't we all celebrating together? That may be because the celebration tonight that the sponsors had to drop $10,000 and $20,000. Though that just FYI, I mean, that's high. Someone has to pay for it, right? But again, it doesn't necessarily create unity. It creates this level of priority, right? This level of elitism. We're going to support these people over here, the common folk. We're going to have a celebration for the common folk. And then for the elites, we're going to have a celebration. Anyway, that's just my perception. I could be way off, y'all. But anyway, message to black folks. This is a specific message to black folks. It is awesome and great that we have a black mayor in our city. But my question is, what is that going to do for the plight of black people in this city? For at least a decade, we have had 3 black political elects, council members sitting in that dais together. 1/3 of the council. What advancement other than self-success happened for black people in this city? So a lot of criticism has come to me. Oh, Jerlene, you're poo-pooing on a black man. No, I'm not. I'm asking a question. In the time where we had 3 black electeds, 1/3 of the council. See, the council is all about relationship, right? It's all about how many votes can you bring to the table to move something forward. What was moved forward for the purpose of black people? Did the infant mortality rate reduce? Did home ownership increase? Did the employment rate increase? Okay, you may have more black people sitting on commissions, but what did that bring to black people in the community? Did that mean that their voices are more relevant? Or did that just mean that they have a seat at the table? So I'm all for the historical win. But black folks, what does it mean for black people? Is it a win for the collective? Or is it a win for the individual? And my thing now, only time can tell, right? Because even looking about how these multiple celebrations where you got two tiers of people being celebrated lets me know that there's still going to be some level of elitism and still going to be some level of division within our community. Again, short things that I heard in this election that were so divisive. And again, and this is just for people when we talk about this whole equity and racism and white supremacy and how people feed into it. During this election, word was shared with me that a black leader in our city, someone who holds a title as leader, told political candidate, and it was shared with me, it was shared, well, that they do not tell people that she was political, an advisement to not, that Susie Price, political mayor, political candidate, should not tell people that she was from Iran or that she comes from a family of Muslims. How do we continue? And so when I share that because that is an example how white supremacy was so embedded in this election. So I'm just telling people, don't have short memories. Don't have short memories. And there's so many things that, of course, I'm not going to spend time talking about because it's I got to move on to the next thing or whatever. Is we have to be better stewards of our communities, and we need to pay attention, especially when it comes to political financing. As I started and when I began, I told you that our current mayor-elect is in debt from this campaign. Although hundreds of thousands of dollars came outside of this city that influenced this campaign. Now that's something. So remember that as we watch things moving forward. Like I said, only time can tell, and I could be completely wrong. I hope that I am wrong, because the one thing that I want for this current political administration to be successful, because if it's successful, our city is successful. I want my city to be successful. I don't want to continue to see homeless people on the street. I don't want to continue to hear about all the different plight that is taking place. So of course, I want people to be successful. Yet we have to think about the impact this election will have on our city. How much money came from outside of this city to influence this election? Okay, even when we think about the congressional, the mayor, our outgoing mayor Garcia, who's now representing Long Beach as a congressional representative, $1 million from someone who has been arrested for fraud was put into the congressional candidate Robert Garcia's campaign. So the comment was, oh, what was independent expenditure? He didn't know. Well, no. See, that's when you've been in politics long enough, you know who's supporting your campaign. You know, you may not be able to, you're not legally supposed to talk to those people or tell them what to do in their independent giving, but you are most likely made aware. Some cases, the city clerk will inform you, depending on what level of government you're running for, that someone has made a contribution via independent expenditures to support your campaign or against you. They will inform you. If you've been in politics long enough, your campaign team and management is always looking to see who is supporting you. So when we hear Robert Garcia was not aware that the crypto thief gave $1 million to his campaign, that's a lie. So again, we got to be mindful, not have short memories, people. We cannot have short memories, especially because in 2 years from now, less than 2 years from now, by mid next year, we're going to see people lining up for 2024. And guess what? I plan on being around. I plan on continuing All Politics Are Local. I appreciate people who've been support this year. I really appreciate the critics, the naysayers and everything, because y'all inspire me to keep going and keep pushing. I appreciate people who have been keeping me informed and giving me information and questioning me on my thought and pushing me to expand my thought process. I really appreciate that. But folks, let's not have short memories. And let's really take a look at what does unity mean in our community, this unity, and what does participation mean, and what does collaboration mean. Are we at the table making a contribution, or are we at the table for our own individual success? Is it about us? Is it about the individual who's sitting at the table? Ooh, look at me, I made it to the commission. Ooh, look at me, I've been selected for this committee. Ooh, look at me, look at me. Or is it really about pushing and moving our city forward? Our city has so many issues, and of course, who has the pen wins. You know, who he writes a history wins, right? They win because they get the right end that they won, even when they didn't win often. I think I still got bugs crawling on me. Also, you know, social media, you get to tell your story how you want to tell it. Let's make sure that we are providing a narrative. Let's do some ground truthing. Let's make sure that we let people really know what's going on, because it's only when we're able to like really step in truth and really be honest about the plight and pains and angst of our city that we're going to be able to correct them and move them forward. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to take me and my my bug self home. So don't forget, don't sit in wood chips, people. It's Jerlene live. Hope to continue to engage, inform, inspire as we move into 2023. I appreciate everybody. I love my city, and all politics are local. Take care, folks.